Hi, and this evening we'll be looking at postpartum depression. And the first thing we want to do is to identify what exactly is postpartum depression. And I'll be referring to it a lot as PPD in the abbreviated form, and postpartum depression is basically an emotional, physical, behavioral change that happens to women after giving birth to her child. And usually the onset is around 2 to 4 weeks. Experiencing such depression is not the end of the world. There are help out there that you can seek. Counseling psychologists are available that you can speak to. Even going to your nearest healthcare provider, they will give you information as to how to overcome postpartum depression. Now, PPD, there are lots of telltale signs that you are indeed experiencing this. And the first one we want to look on is difficulty sleeping. And excuse me if I'm looking to the right because I have some notes that I'm using as reference points that I prepared prior to this video. And again, if you have any difficulty sleeping, then I suggest that you get help. Speak to your healthcare provider and let him or her know that you're not sleeping as you should, because what will happen after a period of time is that your pressure will keep rising and you don't want to have any health issue, especially when dealing with a child. And not being able to sleep as well. A lot of persons, having a child can be so much fun, and the child is sleeping, and you're there just admiring the child, just looking at the child, not wanting to sleep or anything. But it is always recommended that when the child sleeps, that's when you get to sleep. But I know, especially from experience, that sometimes the child is sleeping and you might not want to sleep because you have your favorite YouTube video that you want to watch, or you have friends that you want to check in on, or you just want to do things outside of just sleeping. But trust me, it is recommended that you get some rest. If it's even 5 minutes of nap, it makes a difference, and you will thank me later. No, there's for some their appetite may change, and especially for those who are breastfeeding, sometimes your portion size may change when you're experiencing PPD, and that's something that you don't want to experience, because what happens is that if you're breastfeeding, it means that your baby is depending on you to provide enough nutrition within your body to be able to produce enough milk for him or her to get, so that him or her can grow at a developmental stage that he or she should. You don't want your child to be at a certain age and the doctors are expecting him or her to be weighing at a particular amount, and the child is deemed underweight because you are at a nutritional lack where you just cannot provide sufficient because you don't have the appetite. You just want to lay in bed, and you're not in the mood, which leads me to the next one: the constant mood swings that you go through. And the reality of it is, nothing is wrong if this moment you might feel a bit sad or a bit down, and the next moment you're feeling happy. But the issue comes in where there is a drastic move from one extreme to the next. So this moment you're extremely happy, and the next moment you're extremely sad. This moment you're laughing your heart out, and the next moment you're crying your heart out. Like, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. And then there is a decrease in libido. So you don't want to do anything with your partner, especially sexually. You don't want to you don't have anything at all that you want to consider having sex with him, or not even just sex, but just being intimate in the simplest of form, and just by you know him rubbing you down, or you rubbing him down, or kissing, or anything at all, because mentally you're just not there. And then finally, we want to look at excessive fatigue. And this is where you feel extremely lethargic and you just want to stay in bed, you don't want to do anything. And this poses an issue when this level of fatigue allows you to just not want to do anything and it prevents you from accomplishing your daily task. That's when it becomes an issue. And as such, these are the ways in which you should go about ensuring that you overcome your PPD. And the first one is ask for help. I know it is customary for our Jamaican culture. We do not like to ask for help because we are raised to be strong and independent, and especially with the new age of women now, where we believe that we are very independent and we can do just about anything. So we do not reach out. But asking for help does not mean that you are weaker than anyone. It just shows that you're human and that you are able to put aside your emotions and to focus on the fact that, hey, I am doing this for the benefit of my child because I recognize that I am not at my optimum health, and if I can rectify this, if I can get the necessary assistance, then I will be able to do best for my child. So you seek help, and in seeking help, it's not just about seeking help from a psychologist or a counselor, but seek help. You can seek help from your in-laws, from your siblings, from your parents, or even from your spouse. Sometimes you just need a breather. You just need a break. You need to just step out of the atmosphere that the child is in and to move away from it, get a breather, and then return to the environment, and then you feel somewhat revived. And next is that exercise, and exercising cannot be overemphasized. And of course, you have to do this firstly by consulting your doctor to ensure that whatever exercises you decide to take on, that it is safe. And especially if you have done a C-section, you don't want to get into into an exercise that will put your health at further jeopardy. And then we look on being realistic about our expectations. There are a lot of persons who they have this high expectations about what pregnancy will be after, and they're not realistic. They think that, it's going to be all fun and game, and the child will sleep through the night, and all the child will require is just to be fed and pampers to be changed and clothing to be changed, and everything is going to be nice. And that expectation it couldn't be further from reality. So we need to ensure that our expectations are aligned with reality, because the truth is there are some days in having a newborn that is going to be fun, and then there are some days when it's going to be stressing and you're going to be asking yourself, what did I get myself into? And other days you will be like, thank you, Jesus, you have given me the best gift, because what, that day for you was a good day. But there are also bad days, and you need to expect that it goes up and it comes down. It is not going to be all bad every day, and it's not going to be all good every day. And even on your bad days, learn to praise yourself that, hey, yesterday was a good day, or 10 minutes ago was a good moment, and praise yourself that you're a good mom. Give yourself credit where credit is due, instead of thinking only negatively. And then we want to avoid alcohol and caffeine. These are stimulants, and what it does is that it gives you an high. Remember what we spoke about, you already lacking sleep or feeling excessive fatigue, and giving yourself caffeine or alcohol is that it's going to allow your body to be on a high, and then it finally goes down to a flat, no energy, anything. So it basically pumps you up almost like a balloon and then deflates you. And as somebody who is experiencing postpartum depression, you do not want to be feeding your body on alcohol or caffeine. And then finally, and I've already touched on this somewhat, is that you're going to sleep when the baby is sleeping. Sleep when the baby is sleeping. I can tell you, this is something that I didn't learn early in my journey being a mom when my son was just born. I mean, having received one of the best gifts I've ever asked for in my life, I spent literally almost every waking hours just looking at him, looking at how precious he was, his tiny fingers, his toes, taking in the details of his hair, his scent, everything. I just wanted to relish in that moment and enjoy motherhood, or I thought I was enjoying motherhood, only to realize that week two I started feeling extremely tired and lethargic, and it's almost as if I was finding myself slipping into resentment and frustration and all of those negative emotions that is not good to have while being around a child, because a child can sense or energy, and I didn't wanted my son to be around such an energy. So I decided that I'm going to place those energy in something totally different to ensure that my mind is not clouded. And so I started reaching out to friends and just talking about different stuff instead of just focusing on hey, because the reality is having a child, sometimes it can allow you to just be one minded. Your vision has become all about this child, and you forget about who you are. You forget about dressing up, looking nice for your spouse, putting on your makeup if you used to wear makeup before, putting on your nice dress, or even just to chill with a friend, have a drink, or just have fun and be you. You don't want to find yourself being boxed in, or at least for me, I know I didn't want it to feel that way, because I am somebody who I like to be out there, and being placed in a situation where no, it was just, or at that point in my life, I thought it was just all about the child, and I had to focus my everything on this child, and everything I do, it was all about him, or everything. It's like each day I felt myself slipping away further and further and further away. And the more I look at myself in the mirror, is the more I didn't recognize who that person has become. And as such, I told myself that hey, I'm going to make a concerted effort to ensure that each and every day, if it's even 5 minutes of that day, I ensure that I feel loved by me. I feel a sense of belong from me, and I'm not going to allow anybody to dictate what is and isn't something that I can do as a mother who has a newborn child, because society and a whole tend to tell you, oh, because you're a newborn mom, you can't do this and you're not expected to do that. And in trying to be a mother to your child, and also trying to uphold to societal norms and what society says you can and cannot do, you find yourself being lost in the whole process. And then you get further and further depressed over and over. Instead of climbing out of that situation, you find yourself burying deeper and deeper and deeper into those emotions. And as such, I have just made a resolute decision that each and every day I will learn to love myself more. If I look in the mirror and the person who is looking back on me, I am not happy with that person, I am going to have to make a concerted effort to ensure that that is changed. Because in order for me to love someone else, I have to first be able to love myself. And if I have lost myself in the process of loving my child, then this whole point of motherhood would have been all in vain. So again, in summary, I just want to encourage our mothers out there, especially our new mothers, our mothers who are going through postpartum depression, or even if you're not experiencing any of these signs, but you think you know of someone who is going through such an experience, just to share with them. And I trust that someone would have at least learned something and be able to better empower other women out there so that they themselves can be agents of change, not just for themselves but for others, in impacting others' lives. And we overall can be better mothers, and Jamaicans as a whole, we can rise above this whole stereotypical view where we think that we're weak if we reach out and ask for help. We're weak if we feel as if, we're at a rut in our life where we need assistance from a counselor or a psychologist. So, that's my 2 cents on the whole matter of postpartum depression. It is real. It is real. It is real. There are a lot of persons who will tell you that they themselves are going through it, have been through it, and that's where hope comes in, because there are a lot of persons who will testify that they have gone through it, they have sought the necessary help, and they have overcome. So you too can overcome that hurdle. I trust that you will like, comment, share your views, share this video with others, and in turn, by you sharing this video, others can learn something new, and like I said, will be able to empower other mothers out there. Until our next video, peace out.